Kia ora everybody, today we're learning how to use Cuttle as fast as possible. So let's head over to our browser and let's go to cuttle.xyz. You'll be presented with something a little bit different to this. You will need to sign in with your Google account. You already have an education account if you sign in with your school account. What we're going to do today is we're going to make something on the laser cutter that looks a little bit like this. Here's one from one of my students, Grace, and she likes horses, so she's made herself this lovely little medallion with her name, this outside thing, somewhere to put a ribbon through, and a little icon of a horse. And so you're going to make something similar to you. I'm going to create a new project, and you'll be presented with a screen that looks a little bit like this, and the first thing that you will need to do is you'll notice that your ruler will look slightly different to mine. Why is that? Well, because this is made by Americans, and Americans don't really like good units. They use something else, and so we're going to change it and make sure that this setting here is set to millimeters. Well, whenever we're designing, building, anything like this, we work in millimeters. So just make sure that that's changed. We're going to come over to component A and let's start making. So I'm going to bring in a heart. And there we go. I'm just going to pull that in. And I'm going to make this about 50 millimeters in size. And there we go, it's gone up a little bit, and I'm going to drag a second one in. Now the reason for that is I need the first one to be the outside rim, and I need the second one to be the inside. I'm going to do is I'm going to select that one, shift click, select both of them, and I want the middle part to be a hole. So I'm going to come up to modify and say Boolean difference. Next thing, I'm going to make this for my lovely darling daughter whose name is Matilda. And so I'm going to come back and I'm going to bring in some text. I'm just going to bring that in and drop that in here. And the text I'm going to put in is Tilly. Now, if I tried to cut that like this, what would happen is that all of those letters would fall out. I don't want them to fall out, I really don't. I want them to stay in there, so I need to make sure that they're all connected. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to change the font to something handwritten. I think I found, there's lots and lots and lots in here. I think I found Yellowtail works really well. Okay, I've got her name in there. The I is nicely placed. Next thing I want to do is I want to put in an emoji. Because this is a laser project, I actually don't have the ability to change the color like this. So I want to just get rid of the fill. All we're doing today is cutting the outside. I will lose those little parts like this, the eye, but I'm unconcerned, right? I'm unconcerned. But I want to make sure there's still some stroke in there, and I'll show you what that needs to be changed to soon. One last thing to do, and that's the circle, the hole in the middle. I'm going to drag a second one in, or you can copy paste. Just make it a little bit smaller. Make sure they're centered, and I'm going to select one, shift click, modify, Boolean difference. Okay, we're ready to go, everybody. Let's now do the really, really crucial step. When we send things to the laser cutter, the color determines what the laser's going to do. Now, when we do it, I like to set red as cut, blue as score, and if there's any black on there, which there isn't today, it will engrave that. You can change those settings in the laser cutter, but for us, for consistency, pure red is cut, pure blue is score, pure black is engrave, everything else will be ignored. Okay, so I'm going to select the whole thing with Control A, or you can click and drag everything. I'm going to make sure we have a stroke that it's pure red. It's not any other red. You didn't select it over here. You selected this one, and the code is FFOOO. And it's hairline. But I don't want to cut the whole thing out, because that will make 1,000 little pieces. What do I want to do? I want all of these bits to be connected. So we're going to go select it all again, modify, right down the bottom, weld and score. This is something that Cuttle will do for us for free, which will put in these blue lines wherever we want it to stay, and it'll just score that, but it will only cut out the outside edge, and everything in there is connected. I'm not going to lose any of those parts. It's fantastic. This eye is going to be a little bit hanging in space, but that's fine. One thing I don't like is I don't like the circle. I actually don't want it to show. I don't want it to be scored. So what I can do is I can just click on it again, and I find those two circles. Here's where they've been grouped together. And I'm just going to drag it down. I'm just going to drag it down under the heart. And when I come out, there we go. It's now underneath, and everything is fine. Cool. Next thing, File, Export SVG, and I'm going to call this Tilly Heart. And download that as an SVG, and then you email it to me, and then we'll do the next step of actually setting it up on the laser cutter next time. Well done, everybody. Ka kite.